We have an, an alphabet that I don't know. We have Vika, we have Andrea, we have Carol, we have CJ. So we have hellos from the US, the UK, uh, Ireland. We have hellos from Invar, Karen, Zivka, Noreen, Anne, Andy, Auli, you from Sweden, Julie from Paris, Carol, waiting impatiently to start. Hi from Michigan.
Good.
Ina says, good afternoon from Germany.
Wonderful audience.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a very nice community we have here. We have Christina from Spain, Nuno from Portugal, Miet from Belgium, Stoyanka from Spain, Mahmoud from Lahore, Pakistan, Ingela from Färjestad in Sweden, Jao from Portugal, Irina from Russia, Ramani from India, Patricia Blom or Blome who says bonjour Amit, and Sandra from the USA, Rita from India, George from Perth in Scotland. There's a Perth there as well, and Bob from North Carolina. We have hellos from many parts of the US, from Ontario,
yes,
Canada.
we
Lots
have
of
many,
different
many
parts
friends
in
there.
Spain. Yeah, lots of different parts of Europe and also Asia. It's wonderful. Warmest welcome to everyone, and the most welcome of all to Amid El Haddad. We are so grateful to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, to be here.
Yes, and we will dive into this workshop in just one moment, and we will talk more about what's in store for us. But I would love to hear you say just some words of what we're going to do today so that we get to hear your explanation of what lies ahead for us today.
To me, yeah. Okay. Well, thank everyone for this for this attendees and to be part of this small workshop. Uh, I want for maybe it better to present myself. Some of you they know me. I am from Belgium. My story with watercolor is began in young age, and I it began actually when I saw my sister, my old sister. She was a teacher, and she introduced me to watercolor because she was doing some illustration for the student, and I was really fascinated. And at that time, I understood that my story with watercolor will start there. And later, some many years later, I studied architecture in Brussels. And again, I my path crossed the watercolor because they use it in that time, not now, but in that time they use it as a rendering method for architecture. And later I decided to start some workshop with some talented international artists, and now it became really a necessity to me to paint. It's a way of living.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. And we're gonna taste some of your specific passion, and it's a beautiful style. So let's dive in, and we're gonna paint together in a bit. So today is an online workshop with the theme of mastering expressive light in watercolor, and we will spend 1.5 to 2 hours together. And make sure to use the chat, ask your questions there, share your highlights and insights there. Let's support each other, cheer each other on, and feel that we are there for you. You are there for other people. And I also want to mention, if you're new to this format, it can be tricky to keep up with Amid as he will paint at his own pace. He also have a prepared sketch. But if you want to, give it a go now. And remember, you can always go back and try this again. You will also have limited times access to the replay. And I have a question for those of you who are tuning in today, and that is, when you start a new watercolor, do you already know where the light will be in advance? Have you focused in on that in advance? Or do you find it along the way as you paint? Please share in the chat, and I will read the chat in just a moment. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn how Amit uses light, shadows, and small color sketches, which we will try and do along with him to plan atmospheric scenes. And also discover how to simplify shapes, control values, and create mood with temperature and also contrast. Paint an urban evening scene from scratch with clear step-by-step commentary. And as you will see, Amit is one of those people who have a passion and an ease when it comes to urban scenes, which is something that can feel very, very hard. And if we watch this painting, and then I'm just gonna highlight you a little bit. Let's watch your background on your image. We recognize that one. Beautiful. So urban scenes is something that he has a passion for. We will also be introducing a brand new course that Amit has just created for us at Artefacto. And then at the very end, we have a Q&A session with Amit. So let me read the chat because we have lots of comments popping in. First and foremost, welcome to everyone who says hello now. There are so many hellos in the chat. So just hello, 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 back to all of you who have just joined us. Then we have some other comments here. Marie says, along the way. So understanding where the light is along the way. Robert says, already know. And Florence says, pure chance for me. Patricia says, normally yes. Margot says, yes. So we have both of these answers represented in the chat. Antonia says, yes, I do a study of shadows and light. Ooh, that sounds like you. Yeah, you already do some of what we're going to do today. Sandra says, yes. Ben says, along the way, but I know I should be before. Sue says, I think it's imperative to know where the light is coming from before starting. And one person says, I think about that when I sketch. Yeah, I think about light when you sketch, says Claire Amélie. Yeah. And yeah, I like to think when I'm planning, since it helps to choose and focus in the painting. A quick hand sketch is always helpful. Okay, so you are speaking to the choir a little bit here, Amit. Some people will be new to what we're going to do today, and some people have already experienced that, the benefit of preparing ourselves. So for those of you who are new to Amit, let me introduce him because it's a pleasure to have him here with us. Amit El Haddad is a professional watercolor master, born in Morocco, based in Belgium. He's a watercolor artist as well as an architect who discovered his passion for watercolor during his studies at the Victor Horta Academy of Fine Arts. But also before that he fell in love with watercolor, so that's why he studied there. And his work blends architectural precision with poetic impressionism. And I just love that you're also an architect. You have these both different angles on urban scenes. Deeply influenced by his meeting with renowned artist Joseph Zbuk. Why don't I know? I've heard this so many times, but I've never said it. Can you say this name, please, Amit?
Yeah, Joseph Zbukvich. Joseph.
Zbukvich. I've heard it so many times, but I've never said it. Zbukvich. And he has exhibited internationally in Belgium, Italy, and Morocco, teaches in fine art academies in Belgium, holds workshops across Europe, the US, and also Australia. And he's a member of the American Watercolor Society and the San Diego Watercolor Society, and is a regular participant in international watercolor exhibitions and symposiums. And this beautiful painting, Boat Repair, has been accepted for inclusion in San Diego Watercolor Society's 45th International Exhibition. So that's an example of his beautiful artworks. I love how you blend different techniques here. We have the softness and the sharp edges and textures so well. Beautiful. And we've already heard how you came to start painting. So let me instead ask you, what keeps you painting and what drives you, and what are the kinds of subjects that you are drawn to and why?
I don't have specific subject. Anything, my way of living, I am painting every time. I look to the world as a kind of shapes that you can arrange in many ways. So I paint what inspired me. It kind of vision. I see something. It get this emotional translated in kind of vision. and I never go outside without my sketchbook, and I record every time my impressions. Uh, some of them come to furniture and become big painting. Some of them not. But I mean, this is the process that you cannot control. It's really emotional process.
And you have said, I now consider watercolor not as a tool, but as a partner with its own pace and life cycle. It's
Yes.
beautiful. We've already heard the story, so let's just watch this image because it's so beautiful. And then move on to these. So we see that there's a lot of nature. There are some buildings, there are some boats, there are different but there's a lot of light and some vibrancy, some looseness. So you mix a lot of these different aspects. And
Yeah.
when I heard you talk, it was almost like you're an abstract artist, meaning that it's not about what the subject is. It is what image it creates.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. This is my when I see subject as a subject, actually as a support of something of lights of a mood of atmosphere. At not I don't paint a subject in itself. I paint what we call in some way we call it the flavor of the place. I don't paint the place itself, but the flavor of the place, the mood of the place. You see?
So it's not like you see only shapes and lines and colors, but you sense the energy and the
Yes, the
emotions that
energy.
it
Yeah. I
awakens
think the
within you.
light is express this very well because the light is moving all the time. The light is it's a time. For me, the light is I actually spend the time. The time I am obsessed with the passing of the time. And the lights express the time in very very good way. Therefore, I am obsessed with the light. And the lights, you can express the light only with shadows. This is the story actually.
Or we're gonna try some of these things. And as I mentioned previously, Amit teaches workshops around the world, and the teaching style is that of a mentor, not just demonstrating techniques, but helping students learn to see, feel, and analyze. And the goal is not for you to learn how to replicate something, but developing artistic thinking and a personal vision for you, so for the students.
Yes, correct.
Beautiful. So that's such a beautiful mission, and I'm excited to to be part of that process today. And we have some of Amid's students' feedback. Amid is a devoted, passionate watercolor artist who provides clear, easily understood instruction to achieve incredible impressionistic results. So that's, oh, Marilyn, happy student. I've learned so much from Amid's classes and I had a lot of fun doing so. His instructions are so clear and easy to follow. No matter what the subject is, he breaks the painting process down in easy steps. Thank you, Amid.
Say
Amid is a
hello to
wonderful
Lily
instructor.
because she's my student. She is very good. She's
Ah,
from Santa Barbara. So hello, Lily. But I know that she's looking
oh
today.
yeah, of course, because you've invited your students. I love that. And Richa says, I highly recommend this workshop for all skill levels. So wherever you are on your watercolor journey, this is a good place to be. So if you haven't yet met Amid, this is your chance. This is an exclusive online workshop for everyone who's ready to stop overthinking and start painting with clarity, confidence, and also that being in touch with the light and emotion. We will also today be opening limited enrollment for Amid's brand new course, and only those who are here while we're still streaming live, while we're having this experience live, will have the best deal, so the highest discount. This workshop is for you if you're tired of your paintings looking flat or lifeless and want to create depth and expression, if you want to paint with more confidence, energy, and freedom, if you're feeling stuck with overworking details and missing the big picture, or you love the poetry of plein air scenes and want to learn how to recreate light and atmosphere from real life or photos. And if you're an intermediate watercolorist ready to elevate your skills with guidance from a master. And the advantages of Amid's approach is that you start with a small sketch, so there's not a big risk, where you can test ideas. And then you learn to plan before you paint, so you don't have to guess in the process. You already know where the light, shadow, and story will go. And the third one is you build your scene logically and confidently. So Amit teaches you why each element matters and how to simplify that with purpose. And step 4 is you let the watercolor flow instead of controlling it more than necessary. So you learn about timing, edge control, and tonal balance, and that will become more and more natural when you work with Amit. And step 5 is you paint with clarity, freedom, and also that emotional connection, so that every brushstroke carries an intention and clarity, and that every painting gets to tell a story. It's not about doing a performance, it's about giving the student a method that works. So that's what we're going to do today, Amit. So if you are ready to gain insights from Amit, write yes in the chat so we get that energy going. Because now this is what we're going to be working on. So we have sketch, we have finished painting, and we're going to start this process right now. So I'm going to hand it over to you now, Amit.
Okay.
And super excited for this.
Thank you for this presentation. I have here this picture. I will just show you how you can, in a simple way, edit your picture. So just if you see the picture, you have to be critic, and try to see things that you have to move, to change. So first, I start with this angle. First, I should start with the light. This is the evening light. And I will turn it to the morning light, because I want this part here to be in the light and this part here to be in the shade, just to get this really a big shade here, where they call it framing composition in L, together with the shadows, to connect this part with this part. The problem here we have in this corner, this is really a curved corner, very, very complicated in terms of perspective. So I just simplified, just put it a regular corner without this curve. And this, as you can see, this is not good. We have to elevate this edge here to make it more bigger, and to have it to push this away, to get it more close. Now all this complication here, we have to remove it. This part here, I make it higher, a little bit higher, to have to give more volume to it. Again, some cars here, I have those cars, I can move it here in the road to have this beautiful connections. People, what they call it, and tend to call it as mood setters for urban scene. So this is tricky, because watercolor, I will start where I'm talking. Watercolor, you work under pressure, so you don't have time to think, to stop, and to think properly to next step. So you have to, it's really important to prepare carefully your watercolor before you start, and to resolve all the problem in terms of composition. And so I will just start here, really quick sketch. So I have this building and the edge, that's one here, and this little building with a roof. This is a scene in Tuscany, small village in Tuscany. Just in the middle. I mean, it's really sketch to evaluate the composition, the light, and so on. See, so we have some windows. Yeah, and here I have. So you see, this is one facade. This is front. Again, one here we have in front. So this will be in the shades. This facade here, same here. See, just have a car somewhere. This is our line, our horizon line, I should say. It's all about visual language, and you have to develop your own visual language. It's a suggestion. People, one people here, maybe another car, and this car here parked. Some windows. As we said, you have to suggest. Don't need to spread everything out. And now I'll take my brush. So this is my palette. It's just classic palette. I mean, some cobalt blue for the sky. Warm it a little bit with some purple orange. I am working with Daniel Smith colors. Salt a little bit. And I will put this in same color. I will starting with, of course, the roof. My way of painting is I use the gravity. So top to bottom. Start with the top, and I allow the mixing of the color.
Amit, we got a question from
Yes.
Linda. Why do you put little dots in your sketch? Do you understand that question?
Uh, this is just the windows, I think. This is just some. This is not a dot actually. Just some just position of the window, because when I start the sketch in the pencil, I don't really draw everything. Yes, I call it, this is my GPS. I just to show me where I should go with my brush. So therefore, I just some milestone. I hope it's clear.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
When we are done with the sketch, we're going to ask some questions about your materials.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
let's see the sketch
Okay.
happening first. So if you have any questions, write them in the chat. We will ask them in a bit.
Okay. And ask me. I have this habit to talk when I'm painting. Okay. Some color can be also just in monochrome without any color. You can. It's not necessary to do it with color. You can do proper painting with color. Mixing actually all the colors, going faster. This energy is crucial for you don't have to stop and think, and you go fast with, and you feel this energy in your in a way of painting. And now I have to do some warm color here for the road. At this stage, I don't really care about all the colors, so I mix all the colors here. See, and this will be really dark. Some color. And now I have to dry it a little bit. Yeah. hope it dry enough. Yes.
Amit, we got a
I
clarification
start with,
on Amit, we got a
yes.
clarification on the dot question, and Manuela noticed that when you did lines of the roofs, you
Yes.
put in dots. Is that a way, an architecture's way to get the lines in the correct place?
Yeah, I don't like the regular lines. Huh? That's something doesn't exist in the nature. So I love this texture of the Italian roof. Huh? It's a little bit chaotic, and I try to avoid these lines here. You see, and I try to make also some connection with the sky.
And when you drew them with your pencil, did you
Yeah,
also go first do some spots before going in with the lines?
yeah. I try to avoid line. You know why? Because the line, when you have to try and really fix it with the lines, you are afraid to cross the line.
Yeah,
What
makes so
happens?
much
You
sense.
are painting defensively because you're staying between the lines, and this is not good. So you have to avoid in the first stage the lines. Huh?
Thank you for clarifying that. I think that was super helpful. So thank you for that.
So as you see, I start with light. So as I say, top to bottom, light to dark, which is really the way of doing watercolor. So now I will start with dark values. See, so the shade is not a color; it's a light. So don't try to match this shade to your support, the wall, the color of the wall, or the color of the grass. Now, just make the same color for the. As far as I'm concerned, I use ultramarine, burnt umber, and some purpley color, and I get this bluish gray. See? So as I said, this is in the light. So we need to do some shade here, and this one is completely in shade. So you will see how you can deal with the connections. This one is in the light, so in the light, but I will do some shadow here just to connect it. Otherwise, you will fragment it in many facades, which is not good. And then we have, this is the famous dot. See? And I want to have some shade here, just shade of this part, just to make proper connections. See? This means that we have connected all the shade, all the volume here. Yeah, the connection is watercolor is crucial because watercolor, you don't look at your watercolor, you read it the same as you read your the book, same as alphabet. See? So we have this part here with some shade. Okay, do some color on this car. Some blue color just to balance this warm colors. And then I give a try a little bit. And now with thick pigment, almost cream, I will do some windows and so on. We see not thick enough because paper is still moist. So this is not a window, this is just a brush mark, but you read it as a window. And this is the secret of watercolor. And this gives the character to the. Just handle this card a little bit. This part here in the shade. Window shield here, very light. And then it's almost finished. And this car here. With the shade. Some windows. And then you have to deal with the shadows. With this part here, it should be very dark. Using cool colors. As light purple, ultramarine, some amber. This is too dark and too cool. When you do watercolor, make always test and you get answer from watercolor. Don't insist. You look to watercolor and you get the answer. You get the response. Saying it's dark, it's cooler, as you have to correct. And because your watercolor is still damp or wet, so you can correct it easily. You see this, everything is almost connected. And then, yes, again, shadows. Say, correct this part here. Shadow with this car. Person here. Some highlights. Maybe show another person here. And we finished some windows. Some colors. This is your this is a sketch. I mean, this is the base. Any painting can give you countless composition, possibility of composition. So we have to explore them before you start with a proper painting. So see if it works, if there's something to change, if you have to change the light to adapt it. So this is really, I use it myself, and I will show you the second, because I have my sketchbook here, and I show you how I deal with this. I do it many times and everywhere. See, city, even in the sometimes just in pencil. See, and this painting has been developed. So sometimes a little bit smooth, very smooth painting, just to see. And I encourage really everyone to do this and to be patient to do this before jumping in a big painting. And my experience tell me that I see many students they come up with big painting, half sheets, and in the middle of the wash, I see them stopping and thinking. They don't they don't know how to handle the painting, or what to do next, and and painting is drying. So here we are. Okay, thank you. Any question?
Yes, thank you for that. First and foremost, people would love to see the reference next to the sketch. So if it's possible to keep them both in the camera view, that
Yes.
would be helpful for people.
Yeah.
Is it possible to move it even slightly more to the left
Yes, of course.
so that everyone can see how you chose to transform it? Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So we can keep that in the background while we check. So the first question was from Elaine. What palette are you using?
This is this is a brass palette. They call it a petite palette. You can find it everywhere. I bought it in online. It's a brass. It's very heavy. It's very handled. It's good. It has this big uh, places for the washer. A little bit heavy. This is maybe
So no aluminium there.
yeah.
Great. And then Daniela was curious what paper you use when you paint that
I use
watercolor.
three type of paper. One is Saunders rough. I love it for a city scene. It has really this beautiful gradations. And the second one is Arches, a beautiful paper. And the last time when I was in China, I get some sample of Bohang and start using it. Not easy to handle it in outdoor painting, but it's really amazing. This gives beautiful granulation and texture. It's wonderful for texture. Like a landscape. It's beautiful. Uh,
Thank you. And then we had a question from CJ. Do you pre-wet the paper before you start painting, or do you paint on dry paper?
yeah, I paint on dry paper because I want to use the life cycle of watercolor as it is. If I wet the paper, this means I will make it longer. And this affects also the quality of the wash when you start painting on the wet paper. It's easier, give you more time to handle the washes, but the quality is not the same. It affects the quality of the paper. And also I have so big respect for watercolor that I respect the cycle, the life cycle of watercolor.
It almost sounds the same respect that you have for time.
Yeah,
It's goes hand in hand, perhaps, the respect of how light changes with time, how watercolor paper changes with time.
yeah. Yes, it's same. Yeah, oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is same.
interesting philosophy.
It's philosophical. Yeah,
Yeah, wonderful.
obsession.
We have lots of more questions. We do have a Q&A at the end, so I think it's so that we get to everything we want to get to. My suggestion is that we start preparing for the actual painting and that we get a start on that, and then we're going to take a break and share some information, and then after that break we're going to finish the painting together. So that's my suggestion. That sound good to you?
Yes, perfect. I will just put my proper painting here, and can I start immediately or should I wait?
You can start immediately.
I can start immediately. Okay, so they will. Okay. So this is okay, and this is the proper painting.
And now, how do you suggest people do if they have not prepared the sketch? They do already know it a bit from the thumbnail, from the small one. Do you want them to
Yes,
watch you
yes.
or follow
As you can
along?
see, it's really the same. I just make it bigger. You have this edge here. This relationship, as you can see in the picture, I make it obvious here just to get this part here closer and this and then background. See? So in the painting, most of the time I do some details on the roof with some chimneys, but most of the time I keep it as it is, as the maybe should this be a little bit higher here, make it obvious. The relationship between the shapes is very, very important. And then we just one example. Just I put a paper in. I compare it with a person. If you have these two person, and another one here. So this is friend. They are talking to each other. They are special relationship between them. Now, if I do a guy here and then another one here, so smaller, they are no relationship. This distance is very, very distance, the scale, and very important. This is it shown very good in the figures, but it's really the same. It works for any shape. And if I make this lower, you will lose this kind of beautiful connection between those. See, so saying that, I will start with fix my favorite thing, paper on table, and start painting. Okay. Big washes. I will change my brush. You have all the time to adapt your brush to the surfaces that you need to paint. All right.
Do we see the entire paper now, Amit? We can't see the tape below, but perhaps we see everything that's important.
Let's see if I can just make it a little bit high. I think we have here. No, just a second. Well, just a little bit higher, maybe. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Sorry. Still moving. Okay. Wash a little bit my palettes. Start with. I don't want to cut around all those roofs. So what I will do, I just start with warm colors, some yellow ochre, some pearl orange of Daniel Smith, beautiful color, more yellow ochre, just like this. So this makes beautiful connection of the sky, oh, the roof, sorry. And then some cobalt blue. And because the edge here is still wet, so this will make nice connection. Leave some clouds. Right enough. And just the sky must be roughly done. And don't insist and correct because you have really 1 minute to do all the things. Huh? And now, of course, I have to wait for a little bit for the roof. So what we will do just this. Using Skoda Perla for the roof. Some burns here now. I have some Indian red here. Some pyrrole. The roof must be light because all the light is coming on the top of the roof. So don't make it heavy and dark. Eh? Again, some cheminée. Maybe more, some redness. And I take also some cheminée. I'm gonna paint, try not fiddle and insist on one part of a coat as fast as you can. This is really a secret of to have the good wash. And this soft edge is good because it makes beautiful connection to the with the sky. Now a big brush to have this color. Some yellow color, not too yellows. Before it dried, you have this, so you make this beautiful connections. You have many colors in the reference photo, but I don't. I just use. I unify. I use just one color to simplify. It's just too red. For some redness here. I know that I have only 20 minutes. It's correct to handle all the painting, so I am rushing.
Take your time.
Cut
Just as long
around
as you need.
stars. Okay, thank you. The first wash is crucial. This gives you all the mood and the light, and you have to do it in one go. Now, I know before, right, I want a transition with really warm blue color, some blue, maybe some purple. Really light. Take this card because maybe I leave this one because I want it to be blue as in the sketch. So this is important to have this kind of transition. And I will also do the first wash for this. And I am finished with the first wash. just to be precise for this edge here. Sometimes I do this. I do some water, just spring some water, just to get some texture. Okay. So this is done. But I will have to, this is the first wash. So I will have to dry a little bit.
Amit, do you hear me?
Yes.
We can take the break now.
Okay.
In between and share some information. Before that, just let me one of the questions that we received was around textures. I don't remember exactly the question, but it was something of the sort that the reference, watercolor reference, has a lot of texture. How do you create that texture? And I think we just saw how you create that texture when you splattered some water.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Also, there are some colors, as supremacy colors in Daniel Smith, they give this kind of granulations. It's helpful to you to use them to
Ah,
get
so
this, yes, to get this, this. Other ways, of course, you have to spread with some water or so, to work on your structure, your texture before, yeah. And if you go fast, I mean, if you go fast and you get this beautiful washes, the quality of the wash in watercolor is really crucial. And to achieve that, you have to go as fast as you can. Don't try to fiddle with the painting, and to make it. You have just in one go. The first brush stroke is essential. The any other brush stroke is just corrective. You have just to bring some corrections and to define it, the shape. But the first one must be one go. Yeah, yeah. And
thank you. We
then
have two questions that we will take now, and then we will save some for later. Ramani asked, is the paper tilted at any angle or is it lying flat?
you mean
The paper?
the paper is flat actually, because of the recording. It will be difficult to tilt it a little bit. But I when I work, I tilt the paper.
Okay,
Yeah, I have small angle to allow the gravity working.
great. And the fine, I think we're gonna take the question, what watercolor brands do you suggest for beginners? You mentioned Daniel Smith, their Primatech, if you want extra granulation. Do you
Yes.
have any other tips for beginners or anyone?
I mean, they're a very famous brand, are all good. It's Windsor, Schmink, Holben in Japan, and Daniel Smith in the United States. I love Daniel Smith because I discovered the intensity of Daniel Smith. It's with me. It's very good. Some of other colors they intend to lose the intensity when they dry. Yeah.
Thank you. And then one final question before we move on. Ruthie asked, how do you decide on the colors for the first wash? Warm or cool, etc.?
in any painting, you know the painting, there are two things that very important in painting is harmony on one side and antagonism on another side. So if antagonist can be dark and light, of course, but can be also cooler and warm. So you have, in any painting you have, if you want your painting to be warm painting, even if you want it to be warm painting, you have to bring some cool colors, like here in the side, to make this drama, to make this contrast. And this is and vice versa, of course. If you want cooler painting, you have to bring some warm colors. So I think before you talk about the colors, talk about the values: warm, cooler, dark, light, and this is your. I think you must learn this before you jump into the colors. Yeah.
And think more in terms of warm and cold rather than exactly what color does it have to be.
Also, my palette is organized, as you can see, warm, cooler, like piano. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And now we let everyone finish their part. So finish this first layer.
Okay.
And in the second part, we're going to complete the full painting, building up depth, mood, structure with more tonal values, flowing shadows. And so stay with us to see that. And if you want to learn to paint with more freedom and more clarity, you can start with these 3 steps. And that is to focus on painting the light and not the objects. That will help you learn capture the mood, atmosphere, and the movement through light and shadow, and not just shapes. And then the second one that Amit has shared is to start small, think big, meaning using quick, smaller color sketches to explore values and emotion and light and all of the things you want before committing to a full painting. And the third one is to follow the flow, not the fear. Because with a clear framework, you will learn to plan confidently while you also let the watercolor breathe and surprise you within that framework. So those are 3 steps. And if you want to explore these 3 steps much more than we get to do today, in practice guided by a world-renowned watercolor artist, then you are more than welcome to join the brand new course, Light and Atmosphere in Watercolor, from quick sketches to emotional landscapes, with Amit El Haddad, and take your creative process to a whole new level. And that's what we're gonna invite you to do and open up for today for the first time. This course will suit artists who already have some watercolor painting skills and want to learn to simplify scenes and paint with freshness, even if you tend to get stuck, or especially if you tend to get stuck in perfectionist and want to break free from that. Gain practical skills to paint light, shadow, and atmosphere with a sense of confidence, and follow a clear process instead of having to do the guesswork yourself, getting a reliable step-by-step structure that Amit has prepared and tried out by himself for decades and also taught so many students already. And move beyond technical exercises and start expressing mood, emotion, and story through your watercolor works. And this is what the course has. So I'm gonna soon hand it over to you, Amit, just so you know. So you don't lose yourself in planning for the next layer. The first lesson is winter lights and reflections. And in this lesson, you will learn to create fresh, vibrant washes with confident alla prima brush strokes, paint transparent water, and reflections by mastering color, layering, and timing, and also learn how to preserve luminosity by working with the natural life cycle of watercolor. Can you share, Amit, what we learn in this first lesson? What is it about? What do we learn in this? And what can we take away from this part of the course?
The winter light. The winter light, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really about the reflect. The most important thing that I see in this painting and inspired me is the reflections, because the winter light is really crisp and really pure. And I wanted to be in alla prima, just to do the painting. This was done in outdoor, nearby my house. It's a small village, and I just painted very, very roughly and very, very fast the houses, the trees. The purpose of the trees actually is just to give this beautiful, beautiful reflections into the water surface, really calm water surface. And this is really, you cannot replicate it in studio because you paint the light. I mean, the light, you cannot paint it from a reference photo. It's just impossible.
Ah, because it's so crisp. It looks so fresh.
Yes.
Ah, thank you for sharing that. And then the second lesson is autumn sunset with cows. And
Yeah.
in this lesson, it's about building atmosphere through subtle shifts in temperature and value, how to naturally integrate figures such as cows into your landscape, and also discover techniques to guide the viewer's eye using warm to cool transitions and more. Could you share some of the takeaways from
Yeah.
this particular part of the course?
Uh, this painting actually, it really it's all about the light because it was a beautiful day in autumn. I painted and I came back later in the winter, some weeks later, and I see it really, there's nothing that you attract you without this beautiful light, evening light. This scene, it's just nothing. It lose all the 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 the, the beauty and the magic. What I love is just this part in the distance where the light is still there, and the part in the shade, this transition between the evening, the dark and light. And I love to guess some cause and some details in the shade. I don't want, because they make it, you can just indicate and suggest. If you make the cars in the lights, it will be just obvious. And the light this really the, the one day in autumn season, beautiful lights. It's it's something that you have just some second and then everything changed. It became dark, and yeah, I love this painting and this because it's really about the feeling of momentum feeling actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the colors and the light, so beautiful, very peaceful
Also,
and
as I said,
intense.
the painting is warm, but it's still there. One part in the sky, a blue reflecting in the water, and it gives some small percentage of cooler colors to the whole painting to make this beautiful balance.
And as we can see, we move from this, which was painted very quickly, to this one, which has more elements in it, to the next one, which has even more different shapes
Yes.
that we need to get. We need to sketch this a bit, or at least know how shapes interrelate to make this one works. And it's called Bruges. I don't know how to pronounce this one.
Yes,
The Venice
Bruges.
of the North.
It's Bruges, yes.
Bruges.
In the northern
Bruges.
version. They tend to call it Venice of the North,
Ah,
because there are a lot of canals.
I see. And
If
this
you
is
follow,
also focused on how to transform a busy scene street into a poetic composition shaped by light and structure and not get overwhelmed, and also having fluid transitions within a single wash to not get stuck in those lots and lots and lots of shape that
yeah,
we could get stuck in. Do you want to share why you chose this particular scene and what we can learn from it?
really, because this scene is really magic. Even when the weather is not good, it's still magic. It's gray, and because Bruges is still in the north, so the weather is not often like this. But this every time I pass by this scene, is just a magic, and every time I want to paint it again and again, and from different angles. Those old building, this harmony with the building, as you can see, there's those roof, the water surface, the reflections, the mood. It's just magic. I mean, this is the for painters, and not particularly good subject because you are so uh, obsessed by the beauty of the place that you lose your power of imagination to change the things and to express really yourself. You're just following what you see and try to express it as it is. Yeah.
We do have a question from Roy. Is this course taught only wet on dry technique, or is it wet into wet as well?
Yeah, it's really it's what I did is start from the sky with two layers of colors. One is warm, this yellow color, and then blue on the top. Let it dry, and then I do the building in really one go, huh? Because all the details in the building must be done in a how you call this, not wet, but damp paper. And then I let it dry. I did the water surface also in two color just to reflect the sky, the light of the sky, dark to give also the distance, and let it dry. And then the last move was the reflections on the water.
And would you say it's mostly on dry paper, but it has some wet into wet techniques when you have already painted and made it damp? Is that how you could describe it?
Particularly, yes, particularly for the building, you have to handle that in one go. You cannot stop and yeah.
So maybe this is actually wet into wet, and some of them will be wet into
Yes.
wet because you are
What I do,
painting.
if the surface is big and too complicated, I divide it in two. And like we see the tower, big tower, I just stop there. Yes, I stopped it. So I do the left side of the painting, wet on wet, and then I try to do another one. So it's just impossible to handle it in one go. Huh?
Ah,
Yeah, you just cut it when the connection is still possible.
so thank you for taking us to Bruges, and let's move on to San Marco, which is actually Venice. Is it?
Yeah, San
This
Marco.
is this is the real Venice,
Yes,
where
yes,
it's about creating depth as well as space in cityscapes using silhouettes and tonal values, and how to suggest crowds,
yeah,
not getting too overwhelmed, but actually knowing what to do with all of those people. And how to portray monumental buildings with clarity and rhythm. So, are we ready for this after the first three lessons? And what do we take away when we have gone through this process of painting this together with you?
yeah.
What do you say we learn from this one?
This is, I think, the most important thing, of course, always the light. The light is the most important thing in watercolor, but still, how to simplify complex scene, same as brush, and to take just silhouette of. So you just take silhouette, and when the wash is still damp, you just put some suggestion. Speaking of volume, just some details, windows, and some dots, some brush marks, and it gives this really complexity and suggests many things. And also, yes, also the crowd, because the crowd, Venice is much crowded, and that's I just try to reduce it. It's tricky because you can to make a crowd to express the crowd is not a number of figures. So you have to do it in such a way that there are some figures without legs and some legs without figures. So you, you have just to struggle with this to make it to the viewer. So the viewer, as I said, the painting you have to read it. You don't have to look uh, to the painting. You have to read it, and you enter in the painting. You make your own final impression of it. So this is tricky to do this kind of exercise. Yeah.
It's
When I
So,
said so
so
complicated.
beautiful colors as well. I love the skies. I want to be there. I want to go there. I want to travel there now. So, for those of you who feel interested and perhaps want to join, these are the results that you will achieve when you follow Amid's course. So, it's not just about purchasing courses, it's also about actually doing them and going through the process and learning, being open minded to learning new things. And when you do that, you will see how to use light and shadow to create mood, depth, and emotion, master a step by step method of creating a painting from sketch to final brushstroke, and also learn to focus on what matters without losing the soul of the subject. And also build balance and clarity using values and focal points, see how to let go of fear, stop overthinking, and trust the flow, and capture different types of light in finished frame-worthy artworks. And we have several different pricing plans. And first and foremost, we have the standard plan that includes everything that we just shared. And then we also have the premium plan. And that also includes, on top of that, first and foremost, an official certificate of completion, and then also individual written feedback within the first 75 days after you join on the 4 paintings and on the creative task. So both of them have the invitation to also create your own painting at the end. So this will also have that individual written feedback. And here are the regular prices, and they are really low for everything you get in this one, especially with the premium plan being so related in price. I don't really get that, but it's amazing. So the premium plan includes individual written feedback on the 4 paintings and the creative task. And the benefit of that is that we have seen our students getting much faster progress because personalized feedback targets your strengths and areas of improvement, and expert insights help you refine your techniques and can help you inspire you to move forward with your creativity. And it's a tailored experience. Direct interaction ensures guidance is specific to your work. And also it can help you stay really motivated and being focused and having that additional motivation through the process. There are only 30 spots available on the premium plan because this is a unique opportunity and we want our curators to have lots of space to give you high quality feedback. And the curators are also professional artists. But for those who want a full immersion and directly work with the world-renowned master Amir El Haddad, we have a unique offer today. We are excited to announce that the elite plan is possible to join today. This is not something that we have all of the time. So this is now, it's a unique opportunity to join and receive personal written feedback from Amid himself. We only have 10 available spots for this one. So here are the 3 plans that we have. We have the standard plan, which includes all of the actual course content, the premium plan with individual written feedback within the first 75 days on the finished paintings by a professional curator who is also a professional artist. And then we have the elite plan with only 10 spots with individual feedback from Amid himself. And here are the regular prices. However, right now you can join this course with an exclusive offer. So these are the special prices that we have during this launch, which means it's only $169 for the elite plan, only $109 for the premium, and only $99 for the standard plan. And if you choose to join us while we're still here having this conversation, we have an extra additional discount for you, for those of you who are here live, and that is 10% extra off. So these are the prices that are there when you join us when we're still here in this space together. And there are a limited number of spots for the elite and the premium plan, so make sure to join us if you feel the calling of learning more from Hamid and receiving feedback. So the button to join is below the screen. You can scroll down to find the button. You just click that and you will find your way there. But now it's time to paint again. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Amid, and we're going to see how you transform this first layer into a finished painting.
Yes. Let's go.
I'm just going to make us disappear.
Yeah, I'm heading to the dark values, which is the shade actually. And with the shade, as I said, I'm using some colors like uh, burnt umber, blue ultramarine, and a little bit of natural sienna. Start with this small brush. Check you have this dot here. So we do this, and then some shade. Now I move to the big brush. Same here, just this kind of roof. It seems to be dark, but when it's dry, it will be lose this darkness. Now we have this roof here, some dot. Again, and I drawn this with this shade here and frame this car. Yep. And this should be again in the shade. One go. Sorry one that I have to remove this. Okay. I'll do some, because it's very hot here, just to humidify the paper. Some dry brush in here. Some shadows. And I leave it here for later, just like this. I will insist on the roof, make it a little bit darker with good consistency, creamy consistency. It's just here. Same here. I try to do some windows, which is still wet. Some architectural design, some lines. Maybe bring some turquoisey color for the windows here. So this is a still wet, just wait a little bit before I can maybe do some windows in it. So this car here, function later. This this one here, a maybe should do it in blue color, just to bring some coolness. Leave some highlight there. This part should be in dark. I'm still waiting for this. So this is tricky because when you are busy with some parts, you have to pay attention to this. I'm waiting. It is still wet. I'm waiting to be a little bit damp to do some work. This is the car. This part in the shade. Wilson. I need to do some shade. Just to connect some shade here. Connected with more color here. Now I go back to this with very, very, very thick pigment. It's enough. I don't need any, don't want to be fussy with all those windows. And to me, the big picture in composition, lights, shadows, this is the most important thing in this paint, just maybe some color here. Maybe a door here. Just to say that yeah, some architecture detail. Dry brushing just to make connection. This line must continue. I have to handle the chimneys. Some dots on the roof. That you have some texture on this. Okay. That's a kind of suggestion. Maybe this side here. Some details. Okay. More darkness on the roof. Same here. So we have this. I should twist this red dot here for the light, and then maybe this figure. I will use some white titanium just to bring it forward. Yes. Okay, another one. Just to give kind of sky and light. This one I want it darker. It has to disappear into the shadows. Of course, this should be in shadow. So I will start with this. A huge wash. Cooler with some purple, some ultramarine, and also some burnt sienna. Let's see. Again, some dots just to have this the roof here. Mhm.
We have two questions from
Yes.
when you painted the shadows on the other building.
Yes.
First and foremost from Roy, how did you get that subtle texture effect in the dark brown middle wall? Do you
Here.
remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it because you can get this only if you go fast with your wash. So if you go fast with your wash, because it's a rough structure, the pigment, the heavy pigment, which is ultramarine, it's very heavy. It gets into the curve, you see, into the bottom of the structure. Get this kind of granulation. It's like stone. See,
Thank you.
you have to be faster. If you struggle, if you stay on the wash correcting and say you cannot get it. Yeah, you leave.
The other question
Mess
was
up.
from Ben. When
Yeah.
you painted the shadows, you vary your brush strokes a lot, even dabbing back on an area already covered with wet paint. What does this do?
Dabbing on the same wash.
Yeah, and that the strokes are very varied, so different from each other.
I think it's not actually dabbing. It's just adding more darkness on the wash. When I say that the wash is not enough dark
Oh,
in some places, you can do it if it is still wet. In the first step, you can do it. If the wash is moist, it's difficult to do this. So you have really be careful, and you observe your wash. This kind of a life cycle is so important. Combining, of course, with the consistency of the wash. Okay. Now I have to combine all this with the shadows. So this, see, connection, another connection here, and I want it to be just like this. I did some yellow here because my hand was. And then I'll do some lines. So this is my position, and this is the horizontal line. So just like this with some dry brushing. And here I do it in negative way, like this. Mm. So this guy is in the shade. And as you can observe, everything is really connected. So you have, just make small connection here. So you have this connected with the shadows, with the figure. The only thing that seems to be on its own is this car. It's really the point of interest. And all the shadows are, and this is crucial in watercolor. You have to combine everything to, because you jump from one to another. This is really crucial. When you handle your painting, you just have to look how you can connect your shapes before you start. See? Some suggestion here, some windows. The wash is still damp, so you can do it. You get this really uh, soft edges. If you wait that it dry, you you have to pre-wet it again, because you can get this soft edges. So this stages in the life cycle is crucial. Some darkness here again. And this guy, I spotted my painting with some yellow, because my hand was dirty with the palette. Just give a highlight and leave this, and this is not, don't be fussy with this. Okay, some bird, some sky, and many birds in the sky in Tuscany. For the bird, they call it in visual language space makers. So do some dots, and they give you the sense of the space in the sky and connection. Okay. to just do one properly, and all the rest, when you look at, you imagine that they are a bird everywhere. They are not a bird, they're just a dot. Maybe one of them is good, is this one. There's another one here. See? So I call the painting is finished, maybe some highlights here and there. Like here, some highlights, and all those devices. It's when you handle your painting, maybe you leave it and come to your painting with fresh eyes to do some smaller work and just some corrections. But as I said, the most important are not those small details, but really composition is a light composition, comparison with your painting. This is the most important part of your painting. Say just some dot, just lamp here.
Thank you so much for showing us this. We have lots of comments in the chat. PM writes stunning. Martina writes, it looks really beautiful. I just joined the course. I can't wait to learn from you. Warmest welcome, Martina. And Christina asks, how much water is good to have on the first wash? Is that something we can answer?
Yes, say again.
How much water is good to have on the first wash?
Yes. It's simple, really. If you wash, it's dynamic. I mean, it's moving without your help. This minute that you wash is good.
So enough water for it to be movable.
Yes. When you mix your color, you see it. Anyway, it's consistency, tea, coffee, and milk. And the static part is obviously cream and butter.
Thank you for that. Maria writes, wonderful. Stoyanka writes, thank you, wonderful demo. Rocio writes, thank you very much, wonderful watercolor. I finished to watch the class on the recording. Anne says, thank you for this lesson.
It was pleasure for me.
And Yvette says, lovely, thank you. Mary says, thank you. And Julie says, thank you, Ahmed. You make it look so easy. Yes, that's so true. And then we have lots of questions for the Q&A part, which we will have really soon. Christina writes, thank you. Lots of good questions as well popping in here. So I'm just taking note of those. Maria writing, thank you very much. So thanks, everyone. Joanna writes, thank you. And if anyone painted along with us, please feel free to share your artworks. So you can use the hashtag paint_with_artefacto or tag at artefacto_school. Then we can see your works. So when you do that, if you've already done that, please share that with us. And Van writes, amazing, thank you very much. Wafa, right, thank you for sharing your technique, vibrant and atmospheric painting. Marisa loved it, thank you. Remane says thank you. Soshizmita says beautiful, simple and elegant. Agnieszka says great watercolor, thanks. Khushbu says wonderful lesson. Ramani, amazing, thank you. Katrina writes thank you so much. Francis writes amazing, thank you. Sylvia writes thank you. Matna something writes thank you. Yasmin, dynamic light and shadows, thank you. Danielle writes bright watercolor, thank you so much. Janan writes thank you so much. Christina writes that was awesome, thank you. Joanne says thank you very much, very interesting. So take that to heart, Ahmed. So many wonderful comments. Thank you so much for sharing. And a question for those of you who are here right now, who have just experienced this. Can you already imagine how you would apply these techniques to your next painting? And what inspired you the most? Please feel free to share what your takeaways were, what you thought was important, something you want to remember, something that you want to try out the next time, or an approach or a philosophy that you gained from this workshop that we had. And what you saw today is a part of Amid's approach. And if you feel intrigued, we invite you to dive even deeper into it in the online course that has just been created and released, Light and Atmosphere in Watercolor from Quick Sketches to Emotional Landscapes. All in all, there are 10 video lessons with 4 final scenes in the unique style of the author and 1 final project, and with a chance to get individual written feedback either from the curator or on the elite plan from Amid himself. There's lifetime access to these courses, so let's take a look what's included. We have the introduction, we have the winter lights and reflections, the autumn sunset with cows, the Bruges, the Venice of the North, and San Marco, Venice. So these different scenes that take you step by step to increasingly more complex scenes, but keeping the simplicity and the freshness and the beautiful light and dark and warm and cool transitions. And these are the paintings that you will paint on the course with Amid. So beautiful. And our mission here is to give you more than just techniques. Here we invite you to join this to get a clear step-by-step method that helps you plan so that you can paint with more clarity and paint with more emotion as well. And Amid's lesson guide you from quick sketches to full atmospheric scenes, helping you understand how light, shadow, and composition work together. And also technique and timing. You can sense Amid's passion for timing and respecting the timing of watercolor as well as the timing of light. And by the end, you'll feel more confident, expressive, and our goal is for you to feel more free and feeling that you don't need to paint with a feeling of struggle and fear, but instead with intention and clarity. So here you will learn to simplify scenes, paint with freshness, even if you tend to get stuck in perfectionism or not really knowing what to do, and to move on beyond technical exercises and start expressing mood, emotion, and story, and also follow a clear process instead of having to do the guesswork on your own, getting a reliable step-by-step structure in your painting practice. Every step I teach has a reason. It's not just do like me, it's why and how. That's a quote from Amid.
Yes.
And the learning program is accessible on our course platform. So the lessons are there 24/7, and this is lifetime access. So as long as you have internet, some device, you can watch this whenever you are, from wherever you are. And if you today experience some buffering or quality issues, that's not the case. That's because this is live streamed, but this course is pre-recorded and stored so you can watch them. You can always pause and go back and do it at your own pace. We also invite everyone who joins our courses to our WhatsApp community, where students support and inspire each other every day. And this is a community that's moderated by a dedicated professional community manager, as well as our support team. So we have that aspect as well. And as we mentioned, you can choose to receive written feedback on your works if you choose the premium plan. That's where you get that from a professional watercolor artist curator or from Amid himself. We have 10 spots. I don't know how many of those are left. I know that at least one of you have already joined that one, probably more. So there are a few spots left for the elite plan where Amid will write feedback on your artworks. And the curator also has formal education, is professionally trained on how to provide critique, and is super supportive, and they will never leave you behind. And for the premium and elite plan, you will also receive a certificate of completion so that you can share with the world that you have learned from Amid. So here are the 3 pricing plans that we have right now, and these prices are happening during this conversation. Then they will jump to the black ones, and then they will jump back to the gray ones. So those are the prices and the different plans. And we have a bonus for all plans, that's Articoins, which is a virtual currency for Artefacto School, and you can use them in the special store, Arty Store, and purchase specific products from them. And the more Arty coins you have, the more products you can choose from: brochures, lessons, workshops, promo codes, and more. And if you want to join the premium or elite plan, there are a limited number of spots for that. And you find the way in to this course by scrolling down, exiting full screen if you're in that, and scrolling down, clicking the button there. That will take you to the page where you can choose the plan that feels like the good fit for you. And we are lucky to live in an age where we get to learn online. We can learn from the best artists that we feel connected to, much cheaper than going to their study, especially when we count travel and days and everything. And you can fit it into your own life and also connect with like-minded people from all around the world. It's beautiful. And the only thing you need is some kind of device, internet connection, and of course, watercolor materials if you want to paint along. So, right now, there's a discount. There are bonuses of Arty coins, wonderful community, and how you pay, I actually don't have that link, so I can't show you. But when you press the join the course, you're just gonna find your pricing plan, click your way there, enter your details, and then once you have done that, you will receive, once you have entered your email and your name and also your phone number for the WhatsApp group, you will also enter your payment details, and you can do that using bank card or PayPal. And then once you have done that, you will receive an email with access to the course so you can get started straight away. We also have a guarantee. So if after 1 or 2 lessons within a couple of weeks after you joining the course feel that this is not gonna give you the results that you want, just write us an email and you will get your money back. So now I'm excited to read your biggest takeaways, and of course, super welcome to discover Amid El Haddad's signature method of combining structure and emotion while creating these beautiful, expressive, light-filled watercolors. And it's time to read the chat and also answer your questions. So it's time for the Q&A part. So let me check. Elizabeth says, thank you, Amid and Hannah, a great lesson, thank you. Roseanne writes, thank you. Nadika says, watching different masters with Artefacto, each with his or her own technique and style, inspires me to experiment, and that's the point, to experiment and enjoy. Thank you, Amid and Hannah. Thank you for that, Nadika. Teresa says, I like your talking so much, Hannah. Thanks for those kind words. I always feel a little bit like, should I do the talking? I want to listen to Amid, so that warms my heart. And the course starts whenever you join, Teresa, because it's an online pre-recorded course. And of course, it starts whenever you join, and then the feedback is within a 75-day period, so that you get feedback within those 75 days, so that you make sure to complete it and stay highly motivated. And I'm sure our team can help you, or I can help you soon, Pat. We have lots of thank yous. I look forward to starting the course, from Sandra. Roy says his sky was handled very simply, with various tones of blue handled with very few brush strokes. So that's Roy's takeaway. Teresa says, thanks very much for the encouragement. Merci beaucoup, magnifique, from Desiree. Julie says, capturing the light and omitting all the details. That's Julie's takeaway. Ramani says, learn to overcome fear of starting. Wonderful. Odran says, thank you. I see how important it is to master the shadows and the light. Teresa says, I enjoyed the workshop and used my own feeling. Beautiful. Noreen says, thank you. Wonderful workshop. Loved it. Thanks. Beautiful technique, says Rosanne. The watercolor, says Kitya. And now to the questions. There are a lot of them. So let's dive into the question part of this workshop. Let me go back and watch the ones that I have saved. We have answered a few of them. Do you only use a limited palette, or how many colors would you usually use, Amid?
I think I have many colors. I have actually 25, I guess.
Do you use all of them in one painting, or do you use some of them? Does it depend?
I sometimes I introduce a new color, and I see sometimes it works with the color in itself is good, but the color with mixing with other colors, this is most important thing. And there are some colors they don't have this ability to be mixed with and give good results. So I move them away after some days or some weeks. Yeah.
So mixing is the most important thing, being
Yes.
that the colors mix
I have
well with
some
each other.
colors that not as I have one color here which is pink, pink color, pink, pink rose. It's not good color, and you cannot use it like this, but you can mix it with many colors and give wonderful results.
Yeah, it's not good in itself, but it's a good partner.
Yes, I need a
Is it
partner to be. Yeah,
is it a quinacridone color? Do you know if it?
it connected with cobalt, with ultramarine. Okay, beautiful for sky, for the water surface. Can really give this transparency. Beautiful, beautiful. Same as pearl orange. This color is so strong that you have to mix it with some burnt sienna, some other colors to make it to push it down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Sandy was curious, what size brush are you using?
I use it not about the size because the size you have to adapt it to the wash. But I use this kind of synthetic brushes. Which one is this? Is Haddad. I put it here just to see, which is appointed, and this is good for a heavy consistency, as a milky consistency or creamy consistency, even butter. But I use those mop, they call it mop, for big washes, for
Yeah.
sky, for thin consistency, as tea or coffee. Sometimes I use also this. This is from my friend Professor. This is good brush, Chinese brush. It gives beautiful texture.
Good for trees.
It's really a combination between those two. It holds more water than synthetic,
Yeah.
but it can also increase consistency. It's really combination between consistency and water and holding water. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for that. And then we have a question from Murthy. How do you choose the reference photos for the painting? So when you're out in the world, observing the world, when do you pick up your camera and take a photo? And
And
what
so
are you looking for?
I have this impression that somebody called me. Hey, take this picture. It's some
So you listen to your intuition.
fraction of a second that you see something and you stop and you said, "Oh, this is painting. Oh, this is painting."
Because something that I think many of us understand or can relate to is that we can find a scene feeling beautiful, but then we realize it doesn't really work in the format. It's just a feeling in the big space, but it doesn't really work when we try to capture it in this little square. So when do you know that it actually works in the square, so to speak?
I mean, you have to have one detail, one something. What they intend to call it focus point or for point of interest, and this is really your painting. All the rest around should just support this part. And this is you have to organize your painting in this way, and you have to have this. I call it scenography, which is 3 layers. The foreground that introduce you in. This is the foreground. See, introduce this foreground. Introduce everyone to this, and this is the stage. This is what the most important part. And this part here is just a pattern. This is just a background. If you do this, you can handle you will have depth, have story on your painting. So don't look for beautiful sky, beautiful view. Look for one item that attract you and that give you the inspiration to paint. And forget all the rest. All the rest must be just you have to just one role to support this idea. Yeah.
Thank you for that inspiration. hope you received an answer, Sandy, to that. And oh, Esther writes, thank you for the beautiful language you use to clarify your technique. And then we have Teresa asking, when you work plein air, how do you use the water? I'm not entirely sure what that refers to.
The water. Well, when you are plein air, you are you follow the temperature and the place where you are. If you, of course, if it is winter and the air is moist and humid, so you have to use less water, of course. Otherwise, you continue with not work. In summer, is
Even bigger brushes, maybe.
yeah, big brushes, more water. Yeah.
Ah,
Anyway, hot water summer is not good, particularly good for watercolor. When I do watercolor plein air, most of the winter, spring, and autumn. Autumn is for me is just amazing because the shadows
so
are
whenever you get a bit cold, it's gonna be good for watercolor painting. But when it's comfortable and warm, it's not gonna be good.
yes,
Yeah, I've heard people saying that. In the wintertime, it's perfect. You can just open your windows and it's gonna be perfect for watercolor, but you will be freezing. But it's gonna keep everything moist so long. Oh, Sarah writes, I love how you are made partner with watercolor instead of trying to bend it to your will. Thank you so much. And Manuela says, enrolled. Welcome, Manuela. When is this class, Pat? You received an info on that. This is pre-recorded, but we open the doors now with a high discount and also the opportunity of receiving feedback. So that's how the course starts, so to speak, right now. So Sri Smita writes, thanks, need to leave. I am, yeah, light. Yasmin's takeaway is light effect and painting on dry paper is better for color fresher. Rough paper to get texture with quick wash. Thanks for sharing that, Yasmin, your takeaways. That's very, very well phrased. Luan writes, beautiful simplified watercolor. Thank you. So now the question is there any more questions or have I missed anything? Please write in the chat. We have a couple of more minutes before it's time to use the inspiration and just have that in our minds without talking to each other. Paula had a question. It's over an hour ago, so I don't know if you remember that. It was on the first layer. Why did you not use the same color as the street to create the shadows under the roofs? Do you remember that?
what do you mean this
You
color
you
here?
use different colors for the street
Yes,
than
yes.
under the roofs, and this person thought, why not use the same color?
Uh, First, because when you do the shadows on the warm color, you have to adjust it. Otherwise, it will look, if you mix the purpley cool color on the on walls, it looks not good. So you have to add more not, natural sienna to compensate a little bit.
Yeah, so instead of having it more purple, you have it more brown because that
Yeah,
will match
yes,
better with the yellow
yes.
underneath. Makes sense.
Yeah, and then also because I want this part here to be really to distract from this. So this is really the foreground, and I want this color here because of the contrast give depth to this, push this away, and this is what the purpose of this.
We had one more color paint question, which was, do you ever mix? I saw that you used white for highlights at the very end.
Yes.
But the question that we received in the beginning, do you mix white with colors? Is that something that you use in your technique?
Now I don't use it because it can be dangerous because the white is opaque and the white is stay on the paper. It means when we come back to the wash, it will you will drain the white titanium because the titanium will stay all the time on the surface
Yeah, so
and
you cannot do it in the beginning
it
layers. You have to do it in the finishing layers. I think that was the final question, unless Teresa, you can clarify what Instagram you are referring to. I'm not sure if I can help you with that. Perhaps not. Teresa, you can also search for Artefacto on Instagram. I was at Artefacto_school if you're looking for the Instagram that you want to tag. Kushbu writes, it was a great learning, already uploaded my work on Instagram. Great. And Andrea writes, thank you, great lesson and easy to follow. And I think we're done. The clock says, yay, you spent 2 hours. So I just want to say thank you. First and foremost to everyone who was here and made this happen. It would not have happened without you being here and being part of this community. And I also want to give a huge thanks to you, Ahmed El Haddad, for taking time out of your life to teach here and inspire all of us with both your philosophy and your
Great pleasure for me.
and your teaching, both when it comes to the mind and the technique. We got a bit of everything.
I love teaching and life. I love share my craft with students, and it was really a pleasure for me to be here. And I thank everybody who assisted to this class and to this presentation.
Thank you so much. And of course, if you are inspired and you want to continue, just scroll down and you will find join the course button, and you're welcome to join us. And either way, whatever you decide, I hope you're inspired to use this inspiration and make sure to paint. Remember to paint if you love to paint. Do you have any final words, Amit, before we end?
Just to thank everybody. It was really pleasure to share these small sketches with people coming all over the world to be present in this session. And thank you so much, Anna, for your presentation. Great presentation, and so here. So
it was a true pleasure being here.